Everything's fresh when you're young. When you discover a thing when you're young, you think you know that you invented it, and it's here for the first time for you, and that's such a powerful feeling. Fashion was always about novelty and always about newness, and if you bring in an audience that believes so strongly, that is so sincere in their embrace of the newness, even if it's not new, that feeds it, that feeds the energy of it. That's a tremendous energy to bring into fashion and to feed into fashion, and so that's why it's been a good relationship, youth and fashion.
Let's talk about your personal background a little bit.
I was in women's rights. I have told people that I was a professional feminist. And I was a professional feminist. You know, I was working for women's rights and reproductive freedom, but I was sort of, creatively always pushing the envelope, and I would do things like wear my plaid schoolgirl skirt and my corset into work, which they had to accommodate because free speech. I had this other side that I expressed in my nightlife and in going out to clubs, and that's what I really started to explore in going to the Costume Institute. And that really made me discover that there was this sort of serious side, this academic side to fashion history, and something that really appealed to me.
Why is fashion important, and why particularly is fashion history important?
Why fashion is important to human history and as an art form is because of the self-expression in it. There is an art in it, but that art is so intimately connected to the body that it's telling these stories that are so much about the life lived in the body. And to me it's important because the story of fashion is so compelling. It's a compelling history of youth culture, it's so central there. It's a compelling history of women and women's wear and women's work.
How important do you think it is for designers to know the history of this stuff? Is that a vital element of being a good designer?
I think some people, jump off from history and can make something really new and amazing and incredible and can build on it and accrete something together. I think that some people can be hampered by history and they need to think that they invented it. There is an appetite, more of an appetite than ever, for fashion and what a thoughtful and creative and motivated designer can bring to the world, and a much larger group of people who want to consume and experience that. And I do know that right now we're in an incredible moment of expansion, and that applies to the various media, expanding beyond the magazine. New ways of telling stories on Instagram, telling stories through various video elements, telling stories in so many different ways. And it's amazing when people who've never done it before, who don't have preconceptions, get into it and then show us the way that medium can tell the story. And I think it's great to have people who haven't been telling those stories, who aren't integrated into the industry, telling them, because there's a lot of, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine in the established industry, and it's the enemy of truth. And so I'm excited about this moment of expansion. I'm excited to see new people getting into displaying fashion in new ways. And I just want to see it go further. When I conceptualized my Death of Cool class at Parsons, one of the things I wanted to give students was a sort of alternate set of techniques to make themselves heard as designers. Because to me, so much of the story of subcultural style was about people who had this immense desire for expression that became fashion, and the different ways that they found into the public eye and into the media, and that there were these alternate routes available that you could really clearly map out and pick apart and understand. And I wanted to give those to the students so that they didn't just have this one route through 7th Avenue, which is also a valid route, but I think there's more to it than that. And if you understand the history, you can give it over to students.